If you teach adult faith formation or confirmation classes, then you need to hear about this tip that will help you save a ton of time creating lesson plans. So there are a few tools that you can use to do this, but one of our favorites is ChatGPT. So the free version, it's great and it's super easy to use. So the key to getting a really structured and comprehensive lesson plan is to use a good prompt. So you want to add as much detail as possible, and then context is really important. To make this easy, we like to follow this prompt format, which is called PREP. So the P stands for prompt, which is what you want it to do. The R stands for role, which is how you would like it to act. And then E stands for example. So if you have an example of a previous lesson plan that you've created or text that you want to use, you could add that in here. And the final P stands for parameters. And this is where you're going to be really, really specific and give as much context as you can. So what's the structure of your class? Is it online? Is it in person? How many students do you have? If you want to have interactive activities, if you have English speaking and Spanish speaking in your class, any sort of detail like that, you're going to add that right here. So now I'm going to come in here and fill out this prompt framework. Okay, so for prompt, I wanted to create a comprehensive lesson plan. Then for role, I've added that I would like you to act as my co-teacher for my adult faith formation class. For this specific one, I don't have an example that I want to use, so I'm just going to delete the E, and that's okay. Sometimes you won't have an example, and that's totally fine. And then for the final P for parameters, I've added a lot of detail here. And you're going to want to do this in order to get a really strong, comprehensive lesson plan from this. So I've added that this is a mix of Zoom and online sessions. I've added how long the sessions are, that it's important to foster a strong community online and incorporate activities that will help all the participants collaborate. And then I've put in here, I would like to plan a lesson to address the following unit. So I have the specific unit with the sessions outlined in here. So I'm going to just select enter. ChatGPT is normally really quick, so it should only take a few seconds to generate, and you can see its response right here. So here's a detailed lesson plan for session 4. It's just doing that first session right here in this unit. And so now I'm going to scroll down and take a look at this. You can see the topics covered listed here, the session format, and then it goes into the session. So it has this welcome and community building, a check-in question, opening prayer, small breakout rooms if I want to do that, introduction to faith and divine revelation. So here's the teaching. Then there's an activity. So it goes through all the different topics that were listed there and has teaching and an activity for each section. And then it's also blocked out the time so I can meet that time requirement that I entered in the parameters, which is really helpful. And then it has a quick Q&A and closing reflection, which is great. And then lower down, it actually created another session for me based on the parameters that I included above that I needed asynchronous and live Zoom content. So it's creating this asynchronous 2-hour session for me here. So it has a discussion forum post, a video reflection, personal creeds, prayer commitment. So it has this outline for me that I can follow. So the great thing about ChatGPT is that it's a chatbot. So you can really have a conversation with it, and it can be this iterative process where you can go through and continue to refine what it gives you. So if I wasn't happy with something like this, let's say, for example, for the asynchronous online part, I don't need this discussion forum post. I could come in here and say, in the asynchronous session, can you remove the discussion forum post, and it'll remove it for you. You could ask it to add something different in. And then right here, because it only did that first session, it's asking me, would you like me to draft similar plans for session 5 and session 6? So I'm going to come in here and say, yes, can you draft similar plans for session 5 and 6? And then select enter. So the lesson plan I'm asking for is pretty lengthy. So this did take about a minute for ChatGPT to generate this for me, but you can see that it follows the same format as above. It's just on session 5. So we have that welcome, we have the teaching, the activity for each of the sections that you can see in there, along with those time limits for each section. And then it also generated the asynchronous session for session 5. And then the final lesson plan for session 6 right here, again, following that same format. So you can see how quick and easy that was and how much time this will save you, because this just gives you such a great starting point. So it gives me this comprehensive outline that I can come in here and further customize and refine. But I've just saved so much time in getting started. And that's the great thing about ChatGPT, is that it's a really good thought partner and helping you get started and kind of cutting down on some of these tasks to help you save time.